What's up, world? It's your boy Drew Marcy, rap coach extraordinaire, leader of the legends, mentor to the motivated. In today's video, we're gonna explain the most important decision that you're gonna have to make if you wanna learn how to start a music career from nothing. Now, before we give you the exact stipulations, we have to cover a little bit of the landscape, all right? And I've been coaching rappers for over 5 years, and I've noticed that there's a pattern of the way that they communicate, and there's two emotional pressure points that they always seem to hit. One of them is the fear of failure, right? The fear of failure. And the other one is the dream, the ever elusive dream of getting on. The fear of failure usually manifests itself with some kind of idea that if you don't have a Billboard charting single, or if you don't have a huge, massive record deal, that you've somehow failed, right? You need some kind of music industry validation. Or the other side of that is the dream of getting on, another form of this music industry validation that seems to somehow validate the idea that you're a real artist. And if you don't have those things, if you don't have that industry cosign, somehow you failed or you didn't accomplish that dream of getting on. Now, getting on for most rappers means something like millions of sales, getting a ton of girls, maybe, you know, something depending on your flavor, a nice whip like a Maybach or something like that. Just whatever you feel like means that you're officially lit, you're officially popping. This thirst for validation puts rappers in a very vulnerable position because on a day-to-day basis, you're always scanning in your mind, battling internally with, am I where I want to be yet? Am I officially validated that I'm the artist that I'm supposed to be? Common questions that come up during this phase of a rapper's development are things like, when am I going to get more fans? In other words, I don't have enough fans. When will I get the respect that I deserve? In other words, nobody likes my music. And when will I be able to do music full time? In other words, when will my music become an actual business that I can run? At this point, the artist may or may not realize that they have hit a wall. This wall has two main parts. Unless they have some kind of industry validation or cosign, respect, acclaim from peers, or attention, aka fans, they will forever feel like their career is a failure. Unless they get some kind of working knowledge of how to run their career like a business, or if they get some kind of windfall of cash, unless they're business minded, that success will be fleeting at best. Once I realized these crushing patterns for artists, I realized I need to explain the difference between three main concepts. You have the record industry, you have the entertainment business, and you have a music career. The record industry, the entertainment business, and a music career, and they're very different. The record industry is a series of multinational corporate conglomerates that contain different money-making enterprises related to music, including record labels, streaming companies, etc. The entertainment business is a catch-all term for any profitable transactions that occur from promoting and marketing media meant to entertain the public. So that can mean music, film, TV, video games, sports even, and these days even the news. A music career is a sustained profitable form of employment where the vast majority of your personal income is derived from your expertise in music. Once you understand this, you can actually devise a plan based on your interests and your passions when interacting with these different entities. Now, regarding the record industry, the first thing you have to understand is you have to be willing to play the game, right? Play the game. That's like kind of LA talk. out in LA, we like to say things like, he's willing to play the game, she's willing to play the game. Playing the game means understanding that you're going to have to cede some of your dreams and aspirations, often some of your ownership, some of your business decisions to this large multinational corporate group of entities in order to get that global exposure, all right? So when you enter the record industry, you are going to expect to have to give up a little bit of your power. Now, that's not necessarily to say it's all a bad thing, all right? A lot of artists just chant things like indie, indie, indie because it sounds cool when you're not a person that is specifically here just for just paying your bills, but you really do want to have a global impact, the record industry is a great way to quickly, when an unknown artist is not prepared to do the grind of the entertainment business or the music career we'll talk about in a second, that's a great way for an artist to get all of the trappings of a major corporate business behind them to get that global reach. So don't necessarily just throw away the idea of an industry. The industry can do some things very well for you, especially if you're not very interested in the business side of it, or the humbling side of having a career that we'll cover in a second. The entertainment business, on the other hand, is a series of different tribes and different groups that are doing transactions between each other with brands, with artists, right? With just talent in general. And that's somewhere that you're always gonna have to kind of have a relationship with, because music is one piece of the entertainment business. But the entertainment business is something that you can be very successful in, get branded deals, get branded sponsorships in, without having to play the game of the record industry specifically. Entertainment business, of course, each tribe, TV, video games, like all of those different groups have their own games that you kind of have to play. But if there's something where you're thinking, oh, I either have to be in the industry and be in the Illuminati and all these crazy words, or else I won't get popular the way I want to be. No, a really good way to do it is educate yourself on the entertainment business, and then you can have your music career. Again, we'll cover that in a second. But be aware that in order to interact and interface with the entertainment business well, you're going to have to spend a lot of time learning classic business and a lot of technical terms and a lot of percentages, and also learning the unique styles of each industry. I live in LA. Obviously, we have music, but a lot of my friends work in the movie industry, and I'm constantly asking them questions about how films are developed, how TV is developed, and trying to sort of translate it into music form for me. So that is a long educational process. And for all you artists that are just really more turned on by the idea of making song after song, being creative, interacting with and collaborating with different artists, be aware that the entertainment business and the education time it'll take is a sacrifice that you have to make. So again, don't just throw away the industry option, because if you're not really into learning all of those technical figures or learning the different cultural differences between video game culture and movie culture, an option might be to have a music career in the industry if you're willing to play that game. And then a music career is a sustained, profitable existence, basically from anything that derives from your expertise on music. Now, let me just address quickly, often in the comments when people are new to the channel or they just hating, they're always like, well, how do you qualify to talk about rap when I've never heard of you, right? And things like that. And again, now that you know the framework, that's a person that's thinking that the only form of a successful music career is an industry cosign or some kind of industry notoriety. On the other hand, to be honest, I've had a career, a music career, a sustained, profitable existence derived from my musician expertise that is better than a lot of your favorite rappers, to be honest, humbly speaking, right? I've traveled around the world. I've been paid directly to make music for many multi-million-dollar businesses. I've recorded in the same studios that Rihanna, Kanye West, Wiz Khalifa, all these different artists have worked in. I've done albums with producers that have charting hits as recently as this year, right? Like, so I've done a lot of cool things without having to play the game and been able to do it in a happy, healthy way and not having to take orders for nobody, right? Again, I don't say this to brag. I just say this to say there are living examples, me being one, living examples of how you can have a music career, educate yourself on the entertainment business, and never have to keep chasing that validation we talked about in the beginning of the industry cosign. You don't have to play the game as much. On the other hand, I don't have that industry cosign you might think is what you need to be legitimized, right? You're not gonna find the Billboard hit because I was signed to Atlantic Records. Like, I don't have that. And for some artists, that's crucial, right? And the real point of this video is you have to make that decision for yourself, but do not be under any illusions that all of this isn't going on, and that there are many people that you'll interact with who are willing to help you, or maybe don't want to help you, who are thinking this way and are aware, right? And so for all you artists that wonder, how do people in the music industry seem to know more than me or be a leg up from me and things like that? They may be operating in the corporate multinational professional mindset. And so an artist like yourself, who truthfully, if you really search your heart, care more about just a sustained music career, an artist like yourself, they might just blow you off because they're like, he's not willing to play the game. And that's not a diss, and you shouldn't feel bad about it. You shouldn't have the fear of failure over it or think that you're not getting on. Other side, you may be missing or have missed opportunities because you were so focused on the industry cosign when there's a lot of entertainment business opportunities that are at your feet, and you were just so busy thinking, well, this person that's offering advice or willing to do a deal, they don't have the cool quality control records stamp next to them, right? And you can think about even being a YouTuber as an example of that, where I'm very much in the entertainment business. This is a form of entertainment, but I don't have some label behind me. And so there are opportunities that you might miss if you don't take somebody like myself, Rob Level, Curtis King, like all the other great coaches, if you don't take us seriously because we don't have an industry cosign. So at this point, you have a decision to make. Are you willing to give up a little bit of your short-term ownership in order to play the industry's game and get into the masses awareness so that you can transition into the entertainment business? Are you willing to educate yourself on the money-making opportunities in the entertainment business? Or are you willing to take some of the validation and ego out of things to gain a career, and then you can come back and decide if you want to play the industry's game, sort of like I just discussed? These are the main questions you have to ask yourself when you're starting a career from nothing and you have no connections to any of this, all right? Now, if you're interested in our take, we have a free book, audiobook, video book, and ebook form, which is all about how to start a music career and transition into doing it full-time, even without outside funding or prior fan base or any of those cosigns. It's totally free. We want you to have it. It'll be the first link in the video description box below. It also comes with like a home studio info and all that, how to set up your studio and stuff like that. But that's just our personal take. But the most important thing is that you make the decision for yourself. I want to see you in the comments. Let me know, like, what have you learned from this video? And more importantly, what do you initially think, having all these new ideas? What do you think is the best fit for you? Are you down for the record industry? Are you really interested in educating yourself on the entertainment business? Or are you just here for a music career and you'll take it however you want, even if there's not the ego validation of, oh, everybody on the street knows me? So let me know in the comments. Been appreciated, for you watching. That was a weird, awkward ending, but thanks again. We should drop daily videos. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.